Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast number 280. This edition of the Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by Axon Tire, helping dealers move more iron for the past 100 years. Axon Tire would like to give the loyal listeners of the Moving Iron Podcast a free Axon desk pad. You know what desk pad is, Aaron?
Yes.
So it's like a giant mouse pad, but it covers your desk.
It keeps your furniture from getting all grooved up from signatures and whatnot. And it's full of information.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
That's what it's for. It's to protect the desk.
But the desk pad would be like a giant mouse pad that covers your entire desk.
Right.
So,
to protect your desk.
Now, if you remember last year.
You asked me if I knew what a desk pad was. That's what it does.
If you remember last month, Axon gave away
mouse pads,
right?
Those.
So now you got two mouse pads and a desk pad. I feel like you're pretty well hemmed up.
I feel like that might be the room if you're kind of lose your marbles a little bit, go in there because it's half padded.
Oh, there you go.
Hey.
Bounce off the walls. Payo. Aaron's here all week, folks. So check that out. If you want one of those, go to marketing@axontire.com. Give them all your details. Tell them what it is that the Moving Iron Podcast sent you. Give them your address and those kind of things, and they will send you one of those in the mail. So just go to marketing@axontire.com, and you're good to go. Check that out.
Valley Transportation has been hauling ag and construction equipment across the country for the past 33 years. Call Parker at 800-657-4910 for all your trucking needs. At Valley Transportation, our goal is to help you reach yours.
That's right. And no matter how you buy your farm equipment, whether it's from a dealer, auction, or a private party, AgDirect can help you finance it. You can even apply online at agdirect.com. Learn more about your financing options at agdirect.com.
Tractor Zoom has access to over 20 billion in heavy equipment sales data. Tractor Zoom Iron Comps is the industry's trusted solution for transparent equipment values and auctionable pricing insights.
Right on. So we got a new sponsor here. You guys check these guys out. I think they're worth your while, especially if you're a dealer.
This podcast is brought to you by Anvil AppWorks. Their Dealer Connect CRM app with integrated inventory management is an affordable Salesforce-based solution for your dealership. Create connected customer experiences and transform how you work.
Good job, Aaron Fennell.
Woo!
That's my guy right there. Aaron, there's a rule that we follow here at the Moving Iron Podcast.
I think it's rule number one.
What's rule number one? Party? No, not party. No, it's not party.
It's not party unless you're in Nashville. If you're in Nashville,
under a month
to go, you know how many spots I have left to go for that?
No, because if I guess too little, people will be like, "Oh, it's full."
I
guess
six.
Six spots.
6 spots. As many rings as Michael Jordan has. That's how many.
Oh,
that's how many spots are left.
That's as many rings as Tom and Bill share.
That's exactly
right.
So, if you're interested in coming to that, check that out. Go to MovingIronLLC.com. Check out up in the upper right hand corner. Click the Moving Iron Summit page. All the information is there, agendas, what have you not. But I tell you right now we have 102 dealer people coming. We got 50 dealers coming.
Different representation.
We got everybody from across the board coming. So we got 3 round tables. I think you're going to be pretty good round tables. The first round table is going to be based around the recon process and what you see happen there, and where do you recon, what do you recon, how does your dealership look at reconditioning, whatever else. We got 3 guys that are going to come do that, and 3 very well respected people.
I'm not sure, but I feel like that might be the best paid attention to one.
Aaron's on that one. That's why I said that. So Aaron's going to be doing that one.
Welcome to the round table.
David Gibson from H&R and Alan Miller from Nebraska Harvest Center. Those 3 guys are going to be doing that. They're going to be talking about how they're looking at what's going on in the marketplace and those kind of things. Got another roundtable coming up, and it's going to be based around the additional hours are getting put on machine. So if you had a machine that was supposed to show up in March and it's going to come here in October or September or whatever, what are you doing with those hours? What's that look like? How's that reconditioning process come into play? You've got Stacy Anthony, you've got Lou Bordone. Stacy Anthony's from Ag Revolution. You got Lou Bordone, he's from Flint Ag. out there in Georgia, and then you've got Kevin Vandervoort out of Hoover's there in kind of like Pennsylvania, New York area. So it's going to be a great conversation. You're going to see some of that's happening. It's going to be one of those things that you kind of walk away with some good information there. And then we got a round table with some Ag Direct co-bank guys. Tanner Emke, he's been on the podcast a million times. Him and another gentleman that he works with are going to come in and they're going to talk about what's happening there and what they see happening from an economic standpoint. So there's going to be some really great information that's coming there from things. The one thing I like about the Moving Iron Summit, it's put together by people that are in the dealership realm.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And we live it and breathe it every day, right? And it's not saying that these other meetings aren't worth going to and those kind of things. I hear all that, but the difference is we're living and dining and we're asking the questions that we want answers to
from the dealer viewpoint.
Yeah.
For the dealer.
Yeah. Like for the dealer, by the dealer.
Yeah. There you go.
Kind of like Fubu jeans a little bit in some sense.
Dude, real quick side note, not to get off track. I saw a pair. I shouldn't say a pair. I saw a human being yesterday wearing Genco jeans. Do you remember those?
I don't.
Oh my God. Like the leg of each pant is the size of your torso.
Sure. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, really? Like almost looking at that guy's ass like, oh, those are Gencos. Wow. Really?
Looking at dude's ass. That's cool.
Good job, Goodwill.
Right on.
Give me a pound.
Right on. All right. So
thanks for focusing on that part. Hammer down. Anyway, Moving Iron Summit and whatnot.
All right. So Aaron and I check that out. If you're interested in coming in, that's well worth your time. Aaron's been to every one of them. I think it's a good time. I think if you ask anyone,
looking forward to my commemorative award this year.
What's that?
I don't know. I've been to every one. I got to get something.
Yeah. Well, high five, maybe. A commemorative plate. So
you've been to every one and you're still allowed to come. There's your plaque.
Right on. Check that out. I think it's well worth your time. Like I said, I got six spots open. If you want to check it out, man, it's well worth your time to do.
It in all seriousness, it is a tremendous meeting. Awesome. Absolutely.
All right. So Aaron and I this week we're going to talk about what we see happening about probably 5 or 6 podcasts ago. We talked about what we were going to see. Pretty good thing here about this roundtable. What we were seeing happening with hours and what that looked like moving forward with this additional usage of hours and how that was going to affect the marketplace. Kind of set the table a little bit. If you go and look online and start really kind of digging into what's happening out there, if you have, if you look at the overall, it makes me laugh here when I look at this because for so long we were so worried about the combine marketplace and how atrociously awful that was.
Right.
The combine marketplace right now, I think there's like 7,600-ish combines on the open market right now.
And that's everything.
That's everything. Yeah.
That's
everything.
Massey Harris Super 82 to Klaus 8900 or what have you. Yeah. So,
and I bet you if you go look at about half of those combines aren't even available to even be sold.
No.
Right. No. So, I mean, legitimately, there's probably like 5,000 combines you can buy today on the market.
Ooh. Out of 76? No way.
I bet there's
not. I bet you're 4 or less.
I don't know about that.
I know for a fact, my place, we show like 35 and I have like 10.
Okay, so if you say it's a third, so let's just say it's averaging a third across the board, that means there'd be like 2,600, 2,700 combines today to buy on the open market.
Right.
I mean, I could buy that, I guess.
But I bet it's half because you throw all that old junk in there. Or
sure.
Excuse me, half older, less desirable iron.
If you put that in the mix, then you've got. I think you probably have.
You throw them 8820s and 1480s in there. And there's plenty. There's plenty.
So if you look at it from that perspective, let's say that 5-year-old and newer combines in the marketplace, you probably have 2,500
out of 76, 5 and newer, so that'd be 17. So we're talking For the green guys, that's all S7. The red guys, that's 40 and 50, I think. Yeah, 40 and 50. Honestly, by saying it that way, I feel like there's a lot of reds out there, but not a lot of greens.
What do you mean?
Selling both colors all the time. Okay. I don't care.
Right.
Do not care. They're I'm trying to think of how to say this fancily.
Just say it, bro.
No, I know.
Just let it go.
It's okay. You got this. You got this. When you look at it from that aspect, I feel like the S7 is and this is I'm a green guy, we know this. I feel like the S7 is still, even when it's a 2000 SEP custom machine that's been south to north a few times.
Sure.
It's still highly, highly, highly desirable.
Right.
And I've seen enough of the early 40 series reds that kind of, it's like they're not brothers to the 12 and 13 S series, but they're closer than second cousins on desirability, hot marketness.
Okay.
Right. I put them with a mid S6.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think because of that, and this has really spiraled a long way from a simple question, hasn't it?
Yes.
I think when you look at it from that standpoint, if we're just talking the S700 against the rest of the 5-year and newer combine market, there's no way. It's that number or less. But if all colors had that level of mystique, if you will. But if you're taking all colors, which we are, and really digging in, I think you're probably, because you're saying a third. I'm going to say, yeah, you might be right.
It's a long ways to go around to say that.
I know. You're welcome, everybody, for 15 minutes of rambling to say, yeah, that's probably right.
I think there is a. I think if you take a look at what's happening there, I think that overarching, kind of feel that we're seeing, it's not so. Which kind of goes back to what we're talking about here. I mean, if you had, let's just say I'm right. Say there's 7,600 combines available, and you've got 2,600 of those are available today to buy. Right. That's one number. What I'm talking about is the other 5,000 combines out there that aren't ready to go, because 2,600 that are available today, that same,
we know what they are,
but that same 5-year-old and newer combine, that of that 5,000 that remains, that's probably another 3,500 combines.
Right. The beauty of all of this is that was basically a rhetorical question as a reference point, and I took it on a 15-minute rant.
You did. You went down a rabbit.
That's awesome. Terrific.
You went down a rabbit hole and you turned left 3 times.
I cannot believe Patrick Gotch isn't on the phone now.
But if you look at it from that perspective, those 35 other combines that are out there, 3,500 combines that are out there ish, just hypothetically.
It'd be 5 if we're, let's just
5,000. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
5,000. 5,000. Those other 5,000 combines, what are you doing? Because all of those machines are like 3, 4, 5, 6 months delayed and getting put in there.
Right.
You're not only are you looking at, depending on where you're at, if you're in our neck of the woods out here, it's a fall harvest thing. That's a bigger deal. There's some of our locations where wheat is a bigger deal. You'll see some of that. So they'll have a big wheat harvest, but no fall harvest.
Right. But we seem to bang out more combines at wheat historically.
But most of our wheat combines that we sell though aren't back in our area.
No, we do. We sell when you get into and this is the difference. When you get into the wheat areas of our stores, yeah, that's it.
Right.
My personal experience is in like 3 different fringe stores, and that's still like kind of when they pop. It's almost like our guys get done picking corn, put it in the shed, and it's like, shit, wheat's getting ready to probably trade.
Well, yeah, I think there's part of that too, but also the biggest reason that we see that pop during wheat harvest and what the spectrum behind that is, they're buying their combine for the whole year.
Right. Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
But it just happens to be at wheat harvest.
Right.
So if you look at our very southern end of our territory, that's wheat centric.
Yes.
Right? They're doing like 35 bushel dryland corn, right? And that's the area they live in, right? 50 bushel dryland corn. As you migrate north, when you get around like our center of our AOR, there's a pretty hardy mix of spring harvest and fall harvest, but one is always more than the other, and it just depends on the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. One year they plant more corn, one year they plant more wheat or millet or whatever it is that they're doing. Right? You've got these varying sways in what we see happening. Now you get to our northern territory, it's row crop country, right? Until you get to like north of Alliance into Gordon, and then you're back into wheat country.
Right. I was gonna say if you could almost match it south to north, you got wheat and dry land, you're getting into combo area, and then you get, do you know why? I thought of this the other day as I was all over the territory.
What's that?
A river and a river. Well, no wonder.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But I think if you look at those things and you really map those things out and track what's going on, I think that starts to play a big factor in what you see. I think as we sit here and look at we have conversations with case guys, and they're all out. I mean, unfortunately, we're not on some island somewhere. I mean, everybody's having the same issue that we're having. But I guess if you look at what happens when you run that combine that was supposed to be delivered in June, but didn't show up till October. What happened? Like now you've got a machine that you got a whole another season of use on.
Exactly.
So what happens there? What's that look like? How's that working? Where does the recon play into that? And what's that look like?
Okay. I really think it becomes, as you talk about, okay, this rig was supposed to have 1,500. It came in at 1,800.
Sure.
I think as you're talking about that, there's 2 different things to look at. And this is my personal opinion. Percentage of hours, if it's a 2,000 hour rig.
What do you mean percentage of hours? What do you mean?
Percentage of hours. The differentiation from the guesstimate as a percentage of what total hours is.
Okay, so if you're guessing like 1,500 comes with 1,800, you're whatever that would be.
33% more. 300 hours, 20% more.
Well, 15 to 20%, sure. Yeah.
Right.
So if you're like 15 to 20%, okay.
I feel like, you get a 2,000 hour rig and it comes in 22. That's 10%. I feel like if you're within that 10% threshold, it is what it is. I think when you get into
so explain that. It is what do you mean? So if I come in and it's 1,500 hours and I come in with 1,650, that's 10% more.
Mm-hmm.
So
leave it alone.
Okay. All right. So now, okay. So that's a good point. So
because here's why I say this. Okay. If your salesman did what he should have done and told you this is an estimate. Could come in a little bit either side. Could come in here. Everything's been delayed. Might show up 6 months later. Might have 200 extra hours. Do you want this machine?
I think my point that I want to make with this is that I think, to your point, the 1,800-hour machine is now is the new 1,500-hour machine.
I was getting into that.
Yeah.
That was it's two parts.
So I think
it's a percentage thing, but when you and I talk about this a lot, market by hour ranges. When you jump an hour range, that's a prime example.
It makes a big difference.
When you're supposed to be 14 and you come in 16, it's only 200 hours. You know, you're what, 20% or so, but you've jumped a big, important market gap.
Yep.
Big time.
So I've got a podcast I'm going to put out there. Tractor Zoom came on and they talked about some stuff. I was talking with Andy Campbell from them, and he showed me this chart. And the thing about this chart that really struck me was there was a hard line that you could see based on the data they had. So you had this big gray area of all this different data, and they had these like red dots that were machines that were sold within the last, I can't remember however many days it was, but the difference between, there was like a line that went like this, and there's a dot here and a dot here, and the difference between, there was a big enough gap between those dots that this was the left side kind of climbing up to the late model low hour stuff was very sporadic. It's kind of spread all over the place, and everything on the right side of that was not nearly sporadic at all. So you had the line between the commoditization of the machine over here, right? That was the 2,000 hour, the 1,500 hour, the 3,000 hour combine, and what that looked like. That it kind of is what it is. It's worth what it's worth. And then the stuff over here was perceived value.
Right.
So 1,000 hours.
I like that word. Perceived.
Because that's exactly what it is. It's a perceived value. I mean,
I've seen 1,200 separator hour combines leave a guy standing very often.
Yeah.
And 2,500 hour SEP combines that, unfortunately for whoever did it, run because somebody threw the cash at them.
The difference between that was in that 1,000, it was 1,000 hour to like 1,500 hour, and that's where that gap was at, right? The difference between that is probably someone trading in that combine was, I had 2,000 hours on my machine. I'm looking to go to 750. I'm looking to go to 1,000. I'm looking to go maybe even to 500. You know what I mean? But I'm having a perceived value of, I can spend X to get my 2,000 hour machine going, or I can just put that in over here on my 500 hour machine or 750 or whatever the number is.
And if he's going from 2 to 750, he's dropping 4 segments. So there you go.
Absolutely. So now you start looking at that perspective, and now you've got the guy. Now here's what kind of goes back to that whole thing that we're talking about. What was 500 is now 750. What was 750 is now 1,000. What now is 1,000, now 1,500.
In a generalized sense, you're right, but in a generalized market sense, you're right, and that's because there aren't enough 5s or sub 5. There aren't enough 5 to 7s,
right? But
that market's still there. That market's just hey, we got this. Do you want it or not? Yes, I'll take it.
But it goes back to that same thing, was when it was supposed to come in, it would have had
No, I know, and there's still ones that are showing up where they're supposed to.
Sure,
and that's my point is there are still machines hitting what they're supposed to, and there are still
absolutely
there's still the unicorns, and the stuff is what it's supposed to be, and all that. So it's not all moved, but as a generalization of the market, yeah, it has, because there isn't the five or less.
Yep.
You want a 5 or less, it's now 750 or less.
Right. And the same thing on as for combine or for tractors. You get your row crop tractor, typical season of use is whatever it is for your area, but our area, it's about 500 to 700 hours a year. If you're looking at that perspective,
well, and there's always that magic bullet on tractors, 300.
Sure.
300 or less.
And if it might have had 300 when the new one's supposed to get here,
right now it's five. Right. Your 3 or less is 5 or less. Exactly.
So I think I'm looking at the scale right now, and I'm looking at the marketplace, and I'm taking a look at these things. To me, the 500-hour tractor is the 300-hour tractor.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? The 750-hour tractor is the 500-hour tractor.
Actually, if you're looking at the marketplace and we're talking, realistic pricing, the 1900-hour tractor is the 300-hour tractor.
Yeah, there's some point.
Yeah, you're like, you mean we have this right now and it's under 2,000 hours? I don't know. Ask 4.25.
Yeah,
just throw it out there, see if it sticks.
That's. I mean, but that's. I mean, you see it happening right now. Guys are just throwing numbers because nobody. I don't care who you are in this particular market right now. You're trading something in. There is no playbook that tells you that X equals Y.
As someone who evaluates equipment all day, the first question asked is, when do we get it? Is this a now? Or is this a
because there's a different
September
price.
24? Yeah,
it's
hell
totally
yeah,
different price
dramatically.
If I can have it today,
yeah,
it's available today. There's a price. If it's January of 23, that's a different price.
Absolutely,
that's a speculation at that point because God knows what's going to happen.
This is real and strong. This is just like it's always been.
Yeah,
we don't know,
but to the point where like, the old Wile E. Coyote cartoons, with thing, and the guy's got the anvil swinging on the string, and it's just up here, and Wile E. Coyote's underneath it, and and the road runners.
That damn bird,
and he gets the scissors and cuts, I think, and it falls down. That's where we're at in the marketplace right now, dude. There is a huge, massive 4,000-ton weight swinging back and forth. Right now, it's got plenty of strings on it, but I mean, sooner or later, those strings are going to slowly start to get cut. And when that happens, bam, it's gonna be a big deal.
Every minute that passes in the current world we're in the machinery business, I am more and more and more etched in stone. Swear to my grave, when this baby goes bad, it is going to make 12 look like a horseshoe tournament.
Well, I think it's going to be more of a
the difference is this. It won't be machines. It won't be machine count. It's dollars per machine.
Well, that's true.
You used to dump combines and lose 30 and be like, thank God we only lost 30. Wait.
It's going to be like this. It's going to go, you're going to go bull for a minute.
That's where we are.
But then you're going to end up going. There you go. Straight up there. So those are all going to be things that have a.
It's about to be the University of Montana up in here.
Yeah. So I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I feel like there are these natural ebbs and flows that are coming. But these ebbs and flows that we're in right now aren't natural.
No, not a bit. They're generated. We know that. It's not a common marketplace. No.
And that's a huge deal.
You have, which great for ag to a point.
For now.
You have shit on top of shit on top of shit on top of shit.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is, okay, so you're building this giant stack and commodities do this. Commodities do this.
Right.
Inputs do this.
Right.
Commodities then do this, and inputs go.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. Feel like that's a good place to start.
Corn's down 450. I'm like, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
No, it's worse than $2 corn in 98, man.
That's a whole nother conversation. The move in commodities matters more than what the price is, in my opinion, but that's a whole other conversation. So Good place to stop. Aaron, folks want to reach out to you and get more information.
That's not only a different podcast, but perhaps a podcast series.
Could be.
At Patrick Gott.
If folks want to reach out to you, what's the best place to do that?
By far the easiest that I pay the most attention to would be my telephone, 308-760-1193. Call or text anytime. I am fairly active on the Twitterverse. Sometimes I have a lot of deals. Sometimes I show up and like things for 10 minutes because we ain't got much to deal on.
Mm-hmm.
At Aaron Fintel on there. And I know my speech gets a little combobulated. Through my entire life, I get more mail that says Sintel than Fintel. It's F as in Frank. So,
right.
Or as in farm machinery.
There you go.
Hey,
look at that guy.
Also on LinkedIn, Facebook, all of that by just my name. So,
right on. I am Casey Seymour. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Moving Iron LLC. Go to LinkedIn at Moving Iron Podcast, or you can see the video version of this very podcast right here at the Moving Iron Podcast YouTube channel, which is very creative, the Moving Iron Podcast channel. So check that out.
Are you shitting me?
That's it. That's it. Right there. If you want more information about the Moving Iron Summit, send me an email at MovingIronPodcast at MovingIronPodcast.com, and you could be one of the 6 people to get that special spot. And or you can just go up to the upper right-hand corner of MovingIronLLC.com, and you can fill that in there, and all the information is right there. So with that, I am Casey Seymour with Aaron Fennell. Let's go, some iron folks. Out.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here.